Welcome back to the Wolfcast podcast. I'm joined here with my amazing co-hosts, the talented May, and my brother
Hi.
from another mother, Fang. Today's
Uh,
topic is
Just chilling
we're just
today
chilling
and yeah,
and BSing.
BSing and talking about past podcasts that we've done and just kind of reminiscing on the last half a year that we have been working and doing the podcast. So, yeah, come a
Oh,
long
you,
way.
not us. We just talk.
Yeah, I'm rather
No, I
proud.
was real. I was really thinking about that. I don't know if it was yesterday or today.
Hmm.
Um, I was like, because, and I don't mean this in a bad way, because I love having you on here. But when Fang told me the idea, because I've been wanting to do a podcast probably for like 5 years.
Yeah.
My first idea was like a whole like Marvel DC thing, like just talk about Marvel and DC shit. But I couldn't find anybody that wanted to just do that. So when he threw me this idea and we were like actually pursuing it, I genuinely thought it was just gonna be him and I. And then when you joined, like we all came together, I was like, oh, this is gonna be fucking better. We're gonna have, a wide variety, like more people talking and whatnot. And
Yeah.
then I was like sitting there thinking, you know, if we didn't have her, our podcast would be probably 90% shittier.
well, it's like the original idea that I had brought to you, because we had talked about, I think I texted you while we were both working. I was like, hey man, would you want to do a podcast or something along those lines? And you were like, hey, I've been having this idea for a while now. And so we started talking about it. And I think originally I had mentioned about doing it in VR chat, like finding a conference room. That way we would actually have something on screen. And
Yeah.
then it evolved from doing it on VR chat to just having May do artwork in the background, which I got inspiration from that from the Cast.
Hmm.
She's one of the animators or like co-animators or something like that for
Has been hotel.
Has Been Hotel, and she does her artwork or her animation editing in the background of their podcast, and that's what
But like, go
got
ahead.
May. That's where the idea of bringing May in on the podcast came from.
So I was sitting there thinking, I was like, okay, yeah, Fang and I can sit there and hold a conversation. But it would probably be more like 30-minute podcast versus like an hour to an hour and 20, whatever.
We'd get bored eventually.
Yeah. So having that extra person gives more time filled and etc. But then I also got to thinking, I'm like, all right, well, there's not gonna be anything in the background. Everybody's just gonna be literally listening. There won't be like anything to be watched. So she does all that. She does the thumbnails. She uploads.
I edit,
She edits now,
which
and
I've been
she
getting better
promotes
at.
the podcast more than either one of us combined.
Yeah, you jerks.
I do eventually want to see us evolve into a VR chat esque podcast, because we obviously can't afford a in real life space that we could use with tables and mics and shit. But in the world of VR
Could.
chat,
I mean, technically, we have that big old long 6-foot table.
yeah, but we don't
All
have the
we would
money
have
for the
to do is
mics.
all we'd have to do is put a
Mics.
little bit back by like a little bit at a time, and then convince my dad to turn that other room into the podcast room. I mean,
I
I'd
mean
have to
that,
pay
and we also
extra
do
in
have our
rent.
Patreon as well at
Yeah.
Wolfcast Podcast. So
But as a free
Shameless plug.
option or somewhat free option, we use a
it's not free.
conference. We use a conference room in VR chat that already has all that shit, and then we just use our headset microphones or that standalone mic there, and then that would be the visual. Is just three people on a table sitting there bullshitting around. There are podcasts that do it out there. There are VTubers who do it, and it works relatively well. They'll pull up little side screens that you can pull up in VR chat in certain worlds, and they'll play a video through it or something whenever they're making a joke or a reference.
just do that for my artwork.
That's how we would do it from your artwork, is you'd be in here. I'd probably have you using my Rift S. So you'd be running the Rift S from here.
Mm.
And then if I got you a Quest, I would be using the Quest in the living room. and that's how we would do that.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't mind, taking the Wolfcast into a more VR setting, but I also do kind of like, getting to sit here and spend time with you and talk to you like this too.
Yeah.
Because
It's just an idea. Maybe we do it for like an event that's happening in the like the furry community events that happen. Maybe we just pop in there one day and like kind of treat it like a con almost. Like we just interview
Yeah, I was
people
gonna
and
say
shit.
we could do like a trial run, and if it's not fun or
Too much
too
of a
much
pain in
work,
the ass, yeah. Worst case scenario, we just keep doing what we're doing, and that would work out. Killer has made a request to me as of Friday to he wants to come back on.
Oh yeah?
Either as a guest, and I think he was kind of throwing out the idea of maybe possibly becoming a permanent member of Wolfcast. As like a fourth, another opinion on the thing.
That'd be pretty cool.
I told him I'd talk to you guys about it, bring it up, see what you guys thought about it.
I liked all the guests, but I liked see, I'm so mentally fucked right now that I can't remember, but the other guy, I really enjoyed his stories.
The older one or the younger one?
The older one. I remember Tiller.
So yeah, that was
one-
Kenny.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Wasn't he first sergeant?
First sergeant, yeah, Lloyd. Yeah,
He made me think about all the times that I almost joined,
yeah, he's got a
which
lot of
is about
stories.
5.
Because he's up there in age, so he's seen a lot and done a lot, and
see, the crazy thing is that like when you guys introduced him, or he introduced himself, like, and he was like telling us how old he was and whatnot, and I was like, "There's no way he sounds like he's about our age." Like, I was like, "What?" But, no, I don't know much, but from what I see on like the news or like war movies, etc. Like I don't see or know much about military and whatnot, and what I've heard from like Smeagol. But like, I really enjoyed last week's podcast, even though I didn't talk much. I'm going through shit, so I was trying to keep to myself, but at the same time, I was like really, really intrigued into like all their stories
oh yeah,
and letting them talk about their stories. So I don't know. I thought it was really really fun.
Tiller is confirmed going back in to the military.
yeah. See, I wish him well. I hope he does really well.
Yeah.
I know for me, because I always make a point to like when I was younger, I always for some reason liked to gravitate towards the older generation, like the grandmas and grandpas. Like here I am a young kid, I made best friends with the elderly neighbor behind us because she was really cool, and she like, well, and I'd come over to her house and she'd give me like either food, or there was one day when the reason why I have a scar on my hand, when I was washing dishes and the glass shattered in my hand and slid into my hand. I ran behind the house to her house, crying because I was the only one home at the time, and she helped me. But like, I love making friends with older people because they're so intriguing. They have so many cool stories. Like sometimes, I mean, something that my uncle had told me that has kind of always stuck with me is that the older person, they're still themselves from like us. When we get older, we're still going to be the same person. We don't magically change into a completely different person as we age. We're still the
Fang
same
and I are
person.
going to be in a retirement home together.
I've made jokes with my best friend that we're going to be in a retirement home pinching the orderlies' asses and just being flirty little shits. And I can see it now as I'm sitting there. It's like, Mrs. Dunn, you've been kicked out of the last 3 nursing homes. Do you know why? Because they're all bitches, that's why.
Because fuck you, that's why.
Fuck you, that's why. We're party
Fang's just
granny
gonna
house.
look at me. Fang's gonna look at me and be like, "Shut the fuck up! I'm trying to go to sleep." Like, hey, you awake?
Get the fuck out of my room! I'm trying to play Minecraft. I'm a firm believer in mental health days. I've said it before and I'll say it again. Like, your mental health is important. Like, if you're having a bad mental health day, fucking take a day.
I don't.
You don't have to
It's
explain it.
hard. No, I want to talk about it because like people that do listen to this, or like maybe somebody will see this and it will help them. Or, but I don't feel like what I'm about to say is gonna help them. But like, I don't know. Like it just in March after my 4-year relationship, or almost, I was in and out of it, like, because I knew it was going downhill, but at the same time,
You didn't want to admit
I
it to
felt,
yourself.
yeah, and so like I felt like it was time. So like I was like okay with it, but I wasn't okay with it, and there'd be weeks that I would be fine, and then like a memory would pop up. And then, you would go on and then like, I don't know, like it would just be like I got so depressed at work, like I was like, I'm just in a loop. Like I'm doing the same shit every single day. And there's so many different things to do at that job. And yes, I know it's just I'm not gonna like go into like what I actually do, but like there's so many different positions at that job that like you could be switching it up, but I was doing the same position every day. That's why I tried to branch out and go to a factory. But then I realized in that short period of time that like those people were the people I knew. And I know you can make new friends and new opportunities at other jobs, but like I had to go back.
Mm.
But and then but like, just to like to fast forward the story so it's not taking up the whole time. It's just
Is he
and I'm not
roboting
saying
for
like
yours?
Yeah, you're roboting a
um
little bit.
to me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um but like just like it just feels like past month like has been the worst I've ever been. Like I finally broke down to my dad, told him I was depressed. And it's not like I've told you guys, and I know that like you guys are a huge support and I appreciate it and stuff. And like, but I didn't want to tell my father because I didn't want him to like, then be like, how can I help? Or him stressed even more than he already does. He already has so much on his plate. But I just feel like I had to tell him. And I was stressed. The reason why I took a break from streaming, which sucks because like I've been having this itch to like just game, but like I don't want to get on and just be like, "Meh," go through the motions like I am at work or etc. But like I just I took a break because like I'm just mentally like I'm not here. Like my anger has been bad. Like I just
Well,
like
see,
all these like bad thoughts and shit. Like this is where it's gonna get ready to get dark. And no, I have not. And I'm being 100 completely honest. I know you guys trust me.
mhm.
Viewers might not trust me. There's been this past year, there's not been a day where I've thought about ending it all. There's not a day that I've wanted to pick up whatever drug I can get a hold of and do it, but I haven't. I haven't tried to kill myself. I haven't done drugs or anything, but that the thought crosses my mind every day. And I know I'm not saying drugs takes the pain away, and ending it all just puts it on everybody else. But like,
Mm.
it's been bad. I've literally, actually, in all honesty, this past week, I've almost gotten into 2 physical fights at work
Oh, crap.
just because somebody wanted to call one of my buddies at work um, a fag, and then this other guy got snappy with one of the kids, and then when I went off on him, he wanted to park his car, come inside, and walk behind the counter and get my face.
Oh, crap.
That right there, you walk behind the counter, that's my grounds to kick your ass.
That and, call the cops.
I might
Well,
kick his ass for.
like I said, I'm so like out of it right now. Like my first thought was like, I'm no hesitation. I want to just fucking grab this guy and
Right.
do what needs to be done. But at the same time, some sense went into my head, and I realized that there was 5 teenagers there. My first thought is them.
Hmm.
Does this guy have a weapon, etc.
Well, that in most workplaces highly frown upon,
Defending yourself.
Yeah.
Oh, not my boss.
No, your boss don't care.
I walked outside after this guy because I told this guy, so let's take it outside. So I went outside. My boss followed me outside to watch me.
Didn't we also have that one boss who told you to take your uniform off first?
My first boss would always say, as long as you're not wearing the uniform of where you work at, go for it. But I was wearing a sweatshirt, so you wouldn't have seen any apparel
Logos,
of what
yeah.
I worked at. Yeah, you would have saw my Florida Gator sweatshirt, my black pants.
That's what I like about where I work. There's no dress code or anything, so.
Can we so real quick? Can we talk about, so not to change subject, but you talk about how you had like a Florida, like, do you follow the Florida Gators, or do you just have that sweatshirt just to have?
So there's two reasons why I have Florida Gators. When growing up, I liked football. You know, I'd play Madden.
You also played, in high school.
Well, this is before that. First off, rest in peace, Madden.
Yeah, he did pass away.
But I played Madden. I enjoyed it. It was probably one of the first, besides like Sonic and all that, that I actually got into video games, like Sonic and whatever else was out there. I don't want to get into that. But then like I shared a room with my older brother, who was a year, maybe 2 years older than me, and he was a huge Gators fan. I don't know where he, like, if he just, I don't know. I don't know how he became a Gators fan. But so, with him watching the Gators and then me finally getting into football and joining the football team, I was like, all right, that's my brother, I'm a Gators fan. The big reason why I'm a Gators fan was Tim Tebow and what he did there those 3 years or 4 years he was there. And so then, like, I was just a Gators fan. Well, then my father, who was married to my stepmom at the time, which I still consider her my stepmom/mom because she adopted me after my mom passed away, she moved to Florida when they got a divorce. So for Christmas, she sends me all this Florida stuff, like Florida Gators and whatnot. So that's the other reason why I wear Florida Gator stuff.
See, when I was younger, I had the Kentucky Wildcat, or the CKU, whatever it is, that had the Wildcat on the
Kentucky Wildcat.
Yeah.
You only know that because
Everybody.
of High School Musical.
Everybody. I feel like I'm not throwing shame on you on this one, but I feel like everybody. Okay, I'm not gonna say this or say that, but like almost every female had a Wildcat sweatshirt or T-shirt. My ex was a huge Wildcat fan.
Well, see, this is back when I was a kid. Like, I wasn't a fan of the Wildcats. I just really liked the jersey, and it was like the sweater I had of it was just really comfortable, and like I just really liked it. I think it's because I also liked it because it had a cat on it. But I wasn't a big fan. But I was just like,
Like pussy?
Fuck you. It's like I said, I'll have sex with a woman, but I won't date one because we're all freaking crazy. I can't even handle my craziness. But did I shake you there, bro?
Nah, I was reading chat.
Oh, okay. But no, I just had it because I liked it. Like, it had a cat on it. I liked it. I thought it was cool. But
The Wildcats is not only a YouTuber, but they are a Kentucky team.
Mm-hmm.
Iris.
Yep. But no, back on the subject of that, it's like I've been in that situation, because you got to remember, my ex and we dated for 7 years.
Yeah.
Like,
I pulled a knife out of May's hands.
Yeah, he did. Yeah.
You pulled a knife out of my hand.
No, I physically pulled it out of her hands.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, I was there to stop yours, but I didn't physically yank the knife out of yours.
That situation was weird because, like, I was downstairs and it was so long ago I couldn't tell you what I was upset about, but I just had a knife in my hand, like just thinking about it, and then I just hear this knock at the door, and I open it up, and he just like knew, like he just like if you believe in God, I know
I wear the mark of the guardian for a reason.
But like, it's like a sign from God came down to him and was like, "Hey, go downstairs, knock on your."
A sign from God came down like, "Hey, you pagan fuck, go deal with him."
Or whatever you believe in,
right,
and like
right. Some
divine
being.
That's how I envisioned it.
Yeah.
And I was just like, "What the like?" It was like one of those situations where I was like, "What the fuck?" Okay. We're not doing this today. Puts knife away.
Right. No, it's like Fang was saying, because I thought he and I were going to get married, because but our relationship just didn't work out, and it just, when we were apart, he was even more just verbally abusive and just an all around dick. And one day we just got into a really bad fight, and I would always come home after taking him to work just in tears. And Fang was here for that, and he would see that. And then just one day it got to me. I went into the kitchen, grabbed a knife, and like he said, he yanked it out of my hands.
I didn't. So I got mad, but I wasn't mad at her.
You were scared mad.
No, it was more like I was pissed off she was put in that situation in the first place. I didn't have, me personally, I had nothing to be afraid of because I was stopping her. Nothing was going to happen. Not while I was there. I was more pissed off that the situation happened in the first place, that it got to that point.
Mm-hmm.
So I asked her, because she stormed in here, and I went, "What the fuck are you doing?" Because I already knew. And I said it in a harsh tone. Because sometimes it's what's needed to at least stop the person in their tracks.
Mm-hmm. My dad told me one time that he actually thought about committing suicide a long time ago. Like, we talked about it, because he's like, yeah, I get depressed real bad sometimes too. He's like, I thought about ending it and, just taking my life, because I was so stressed out. I had all these bills due, and I couldn't make enough money to make ends meet. But he's like, then he realized, like, it's like I had my daughter that, she needed me, because my mom wasn't in my life at the time. And,
I've got my scar from when I stopped. The reason for stopping was a little different, but also similar to your dad's.
Mm-hmm. And, it's, Dad had his dad ripped away in the way that he did, and it's just, he just stopped. And he's like, I get real depressed still. And depression, people see depression as, oh, just snap out of it, you're being dramatic, you want attention, blah 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 blah. And
I got told that, and it just pissed me off even more.
Yeah, it's, depression isn't something you can just, okay, I'm suddenly better.
Just be happy. What a genius idea. Why would I think of that?
I also hate the I just lost it. It's like aren't we all?
Right.
Yeah.
You're not okay, well, you're not helping, because now I feel your pain because I'm already in that. And now I'm more depressed.
Yeah. And it's just, some people don't experience depression to a level that
it boggles my mind that, like, things you don't realize you do because of depression or anxiety, or so what we see as normal in our lives. And then you have people talking about how, what's an example? I had one and I lost it, but they'll say something and you're like, wait a minute, you don't view it like this? You don't just randomly sit there? Like, they don't do something you do because you're depressed.
Mm-hmm. Everyone suffers their own depressions differently.
Well, no, because they're not depressed. The people who aren't depressed go about normal lives. They don't have moments where they just sit there and stare at something,
or just start crying for no reason.
They haven't gone through what we've gone through.
Yeah, and it's weird when you think about it that people like that actually exist.
But I think a lot of people think of me, or think that I'm depressed because, and I do talk about it a lot, like, I lost a 4-year relationship. Not saying that, like, your 7-year relationship is in comparison to my 4.
Yeah.
Because you got me beat on 3, but it's no competition, is what I'm getting at. But, like...
No, she's better than
you. But, like...
May 1, Alpha 0.
I just feel like a lot of people go, boo-hoo, there's more fish in the sea. And there is. I get that.
There's a lot of fish in the sea, but I'm clearly using the wrong fucking bait.
But that was my fish.
Exactly. and I want to touch on that too. But last year, and I get this too. I say this a couple of times, or I've said it a couple of times. Last year fucking sucked. I lost that 4-year relationship. Right after that, I lost a family dog. A week after that, I lost my uncle. And then about October, September, I lost another uncle.
So it was just hit after hit after hit after hit.
And just already being depressed, and then, quitting my job, and then, am I going to be able to come back to my other job, worrying about that, and just all these anger issues that I have now, and just like all that. But like, I saw a light for like it was probably about a month ago. This girl I've been like, I don't want to say crushing on because I feel like that's more like a middle school kind of term.
No adults still have
You
crush.
can crush it.
Like I'm a full grown woman. I still have crushes on my high school people that I went to school with. I'm just like, yeah.
But
Just,
like
you
this
know what?
girl-
It happens. I can have schoolgirl crushes. Okay, I am happily married to you. I can crush on other people. I'm not gonna. Here's how the great analogy. I can window shop. I can look. I can be like, oh, that's real nice. Well, that looks real nice too. I like that. Oh, it's got a nice butt. But I'm not purchasing.
I know, and you and I are on similar grounds with this. And for context, the way mine and May's relationship works is we could both be walking down the mall. We could both see an absolutely gorgeous woman with a nice ass and big boobs, what have you, and we will both watch her walk by.
We'll both be like,
And there's a running joke between May and I where we'll watch the person walk by, we'll look at each other, and then pretend to fight to take our wedding rings off. So it's...
Yeah, I've seen it. Or stupid me, I would used to be like, damn, I bet she shits out that ass. I'm just like, what the fuck?
You can't do that when I'm taking a drink, you fuck!
She just looks at you like, the fuck did he just say? I bet you shit out that ass, girl. Yeah, yes, I do. That's how
I had an old boss
works.
that would just be like one day, I can't believe it. Like it was almost an experience like I was taking a drink, but I wasn't. But I laughed so hard you would have thought I spit whatever I was drinking out. And he was just like, God. I was like, what? And he goes, I bet she shits out that ass. And I was like, what?
Excuse me?
So, when I was doing I like how we're just jumping around subjects. We went from depression, and now we're talking about relationships. Now we're talking about fucking, what's it called, catcalling or rubbernecking.
What's funny is, like, if you catcall guys, they get real uncomfortable.
I know. I'll be like, hey, baby, what you doing?
No, but like, I'm like, you're more masculine than the ones that hit on them.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
like, hey, baby, guy. Like, if you hit on them back, they're just like, or if you have, so ladies, if you have a guy that sits there and tells you a sexual joke that you don't think is funny, but they're sitting there dying laughing, if you don't laugh and you ask why is it funny, watch them fumble over themselves. You take away the power of them trying to be just offensive and, you know, just trying to be that real harassment.
You know what my response is to that, though? Why is it funny? Because I have a sense of humor. Fuck
And
you.
one of the biggest lies I've ever been told is that if you can make a girl laugh, she's into you. That's a fucking lie.
Not true. Not true. Some girls, if they no. Some girls will just laugh sometimes to be polite. But if a girl straight up laughs, like you get either a snort or a full on. She's not joking. Like, she's legit laughing. But you'll get most girls like, oh, that's really funny. Yeah. You can tell the difference. But me, if you can make me laugh, I'm kind of like, okay, you have my attention.
You want to know the lie I was told in elementary school? And it was the excuse I was given by teachers, by not grandparents, but it's like, I want to say family members of some kind.
What if she hits you?
If they bully you, they actually have a crush on you.
That's a fucking lie.
And I was like, that sounds like how to get into an abusive relationship 101.
Right. Now I got picked on all the time. I got kicked in the twat. I got picked on, made fun of, my hair pulled, gum stuck in my hair. They didn't like me. They were just being mean because I was a fat girl.
The worst it got for me was I got punched in the face in elementary school, and I think I've told this story before. My mom got pissed off because her son's being bullied. She called the school to complain about it, and the teacher's response was, well, was he asking for it? Like, yes, bitch. I was asking to be bullied in the bathroom. That's exactly what it is. And then the principal, whenever I went to him, because my mom told me to go to the principal about it whenever I got bullied. And the principal would tell me, oh, just say, I'm rubber your glue, that whole I'm rubber your glue saying.
Yeah, whatever I say bounces off
whatever you say bounces off me, sticks to you,
Yeah.
bloody, bloody.
Why? So I can get fucking bullied?
Yeah,
more?
it just led to getting bullied more. Me being third grade, looking up to adults, thinking adults know what they're talking about.
Half the time they fucking don't.
Or it's like, hey, we took care of that bully for you. We suspended him for 3 days. Okay, so in 3 days he's going to come back here and beat my ass more because he knows one of the people he bullies snitched on him.
I still got mad that I got ISS for calling one of my bullies a pansy. And I got in trouble. Like, are you kidding me? He makes my life hell.
Yeah, it's stand up for yourself.
I got kicked out for a day because I got jumped in the bathroom by 5 people.
So for defending yourself, you got kicked out of school.
Well, I went in there because they were bullying one of my friends, and come to find out there was 5 of them, and they all beat the shit out of me because I was the one going in there for backup. Didn't touch him, and then since there was 5 against 1, they all lied, saved their asses, and I got kicked out.
That's
Yeah,
stupid.
I got bullied up until the point where one of my bullies stopped me on the stairs at school, said some shit. So I said some shit back to him. He told me if I said it again, he was going to punch me in the fucking face. So I said it again and then said, fucking do it. Because I had permission. If I was hit, I had full pass to kick his ass.
I had permission.
And I had the OB1 strat. So, Alpha, you went to the same school as me. It was down by the cafeteria, that set of stairs.
Down by a van.
You're talking about the high school?
Yeah.
Okay.
I was on the landing before you had to turn and go up the next set of stairs. And he was probably 3 steps down from me when I told him to just fucking do it.
Sure he wasn't 3 doors down from you?
Shut up. And all I can think about it now is I had the OB1 strat. I had the high ground. All I had to fucking do was kick him.
Kick him. Kicker, sir.
Like,
Did you?
he didn't bother me after that, and I wasn't bullied another day in my life. So sometimes standing up for yourself, in certain situations, standing up for yourself can help you. Because once you take the fun out of it, bullies get bored.
Right.
But that isn't always true.
Yeah, and also sometimes bullies just want a bully to be a jerk.
Or they think they have a god complex.
Yeah.
Or there's something going on in
Yeah.
their life.
But usually bullies are bullying because they're being bullied or at home or they're just, trying to impress somebody or just trying to keep their standing. I actually had one of my bullies apologize to me.
I did too.
Like I was well in my 20s, but he came into my work and he's like, "You're this person, aren't you?" I'm like, "Yeah." He's like, "I really wanted to apologize for how I treated you in school." He's like, "I was dumb."
He grew up.
Yeah, and he's like, "I really apologize." And like, you know what? Like it made me feel so much better to know that my bully was like, "Hey, I'm sorry I was so mean to you." Like,
funny enough,
yeah.
One of my bullies is actually one of my closer friends.
Isn't that yeah, Schmiegel?
Yep. Smeagol was one of my elementary school and middle school bullies.
Now he's one of your best friends.
And now I'll take him out to a bar every time.
Of course, you guys can do that though.
Well, it's like Iris is saying right now in
I don't know why you just don't pull it up on your
because
phone.
that's too much of a pain in the ass.
Oh my god.
But it's like what Iris is saying in Alpha's chat right now. Men can punch each other in the face, get into a full-on fucking brawl.
Yep. Be best friends.
And we'll
after.
be best friends tomorrow and have a beer.
Girls, nope, we don't do that shit. We will hold a grudge until the day we fucking die. Sometimes we can get over it. We'll be like, okay, we're both being bitches. We're both stupid. I'm sorry. But, and what's sad is like, some girls don't, they're not pitted against each other. And I do believe we do need to keep other girls strong. We need to support other girls. Like, hey, we need to protect our girls and, stick up together. But I also understand that there's that deep-seated, underneath of us where we have to be jealous because we have to protect what's ours. We have to watch our back because girls do backstab a lot. Because if it puts them in a position where they can get on top somehow, we'll take advantage of it.
Yeah, girls like being on top.
Shut up. But we also need to get out of that trope. We need to understand that we're all in this together. Like, because yes, it might seem cool to fuck over this other person, but we need to realize, like, in that situation, we need to be with each other. We need to have our girls' backs. We need to work together as a team because, there's more out there wanting to hurt us, and we don't need to be hurting ourselves. Like, we need to stick up together. So
I was gonna say you see I don't see it, but you see it in like movies and shows and shit, like where like there would be like a random girl walking down the road and there's like 4 guys harassing them, like,
Mhm.
and you know what that's leading up to.
mhm.
And like, if you see that shit, I mean, me personally, I'm gonna jump in. I'd rather my ass get beat and have to go to the hospital versus a girl have to go through that.
Mhm.
A tactic for that, if you see a woman who is walking down the street, or even a younger girl, like a high school or something, she's walking down the street, you can tell she's being preyed on. If you walk up to them and pretend to either be a family member, or if they're of age, their boyfriend, and you kind of like you walk up to him and be like, I don't know, you greet them in a manner. So like if you're pretending to be their boyfriend, be like, hey babe, what are you doing here? Wink at them, let them know that that's what you're doing, and then
Get
walk.
pepper sprayed.
No, and then you walk with them until those guys dip out.
Somebody
Well,
had
I know
posted-
that there's been 2 different occasions where I've seen a girl walking down the road and I've pulled over, which is kind of sketch as it is. And I'm like, hey, do you need a ride? Because, they were younger. And I was like, hey, this is probably weird, but like, do you need a ride so you're not out here by yourself? And, they hop in the car, I take them to wherever they need to go. I had to take one like fucking halfway across town one day.
Shit.
But I would rather do that than them being walking alone and some other random pick them up and then have their
Right.
way, or whatever.
Right. It's a
Okay.
lot of that, and it's unfortunately getting more difficult to be a good person and help people nowadays, because I don't know about you, I don't fucking trust nobody. If I was walking alone and somebody pulled up on me, I'm like, what the fuck do you want?
My first instinct is I instantly get terrified. Like if
Yeah.
I'm walking down the street, like even like when I was walking to and from work,
Mhm.
like if someone just slows down the inklingest of too slow, I start to panic.
Mm-hmm. It's worse where we live because we got them speed bumps, so people have to slow down. I'd be walking back from either the gas station or the liquor store, or what have you, and I'd hear the car coming, and then I'd hear him just slow down. I'm like, all right, here we go.
Go.
That's how I feel when I'm walking back from the gas station or the liquor store from your place. Yes, there's 4 of us deep, but like still, like I'm like, all right. And I feel like there's like always someone out in that neighborhood.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I eyeball when I'm walking. I'm always eyeballing the people that are around me. Like, what are you doing? And I'm sure they're eyeballing me right fucking back.
What's funny is I always panic whenever you have during the summer all the kids running out in the street here.
Mhm.
Like I understand they're all running together, but there's just that part of me that just like it'd be real easy for someone just to come up and grab them.
I don't think it would actually be as easy as your paranoia and my paranoia make it out to be.
Yeah.
Because when you think about it, yeah, all those kids are running out in the street. But all those kids who are running out in the street are surrounded by parents and buildings who probably have their windows open and are listening to everything.
Right. Well, it's like, what do they call it? Like free range parenting. Like I know some people got in trouble for like, just letting their kids run out and walk to the park and back. I'm like, back in my day, we stayed out until the lights went dark. If you heard your name getting yelled, your ass was in trouble because you took too long.
Get home before the streetlights turn on.
I remember one time when I was younger, I was playing out in the snow, and I had made a snow woman, big boobs and everything. The neighbor kid was, they were real religious, and so he would always come over and knock her down because snowmen don't have titties. I'm like, it's not a snowman, it's a snow woman. She's got titties. And I like to steal a lot of my dad's clothes growing up, so I would steal his wife beaters. And he's like, quit wearing my wife beaters. You keep stretching them out and leaving big old bumpy bits in the front.
There's actually a
because I would stretch them out and they'd have just like boob imprints. And
there was one time where there was a couple of us in the neighborhood. This is before I met Fang, I think, or he wasn't around that day. And I don't even think I was hanging out with Scuba Steve or Smeagol then. It was a different group. And we all built this snowman, and one of them was like, let's put a fucking penis on him. So they built this penis. This car slams on its brakes. Karen of her age gets out. You think this is funny? Da-da-da. I'm going to call the cops, and they'll have you all obtained and whatnot. And I was like, okay, call the cops, because, I was in high school. Rebellious and whatnot. Call them. She's like, I will. I'm doing it right now. I was like, oh, are you? And she's like, yeah, look. Went over there, and I kicked the fucking penis off. I said, what are you going to tell them now? You look like a fucking idiot.
I hate that. Like, Karen's calling, like, on kids playing, just mind your own fucking business.
There's a video going around right now. I don't know if it's staged or not. I kind of hope it's staged. But this guy has a doormat in his front door. It says, "Leave your shit at the door." Yeah, it's a funny little doormat. Well, this fucking Karen walks up, picks it up, and just goes off on him, saying how it's not appropriate, and she starts to like take it, and he's like, "What are you doing? You can't take that. That's mine. You're stealing right now." He manages to get a hold of it and yank it away from her, and she just screams.
Yup.
And it's like,
bitch, it's my mat.
you can't just, whether you like the thing or you dislike the thing, if it's somebody else's property, you can't take it legally. You can't destroy it legally.
Mm-hmm.
Like if I put something out in the front of my apartment, or even behind my apartment, and it is in my apartment's lines, and somebody doesn't like it, and they come through and they destroy it, and I know who did it, and I approve that they did it, I'm about to make a lot of fucking money. I won't play this.
That.
I don't play the whole "I'll videotape you and embarrass you on the internet" game. Fuck you. I'm about to rob your bank account.
Well, there's
Probably
that,
hit your
and then
ass.
it's just gonna make me want to go out and buy the same thing I just bought and then put it back out there. And
Yeah,
I'll just continue to keep doing it. Be like, you look like a fucking idiot.
it's just, I just don't understand the people who play the game. Like, I understand it's frustrating when a Karen walks up to you, or some douchebag walks up to you and they just start going off on you for stupid shit. But like, there are laws that protect you from people doing stupid shit. One of which being the
Destruction of private property.
you have your right to private property, meaning nobody can steal your shit, nobody can destroy your shit. So, like, if they're stealing or destroying your shit, get a hold of a lawyer and rob their fucking bank account. It's not that difficult. You don't have to fight every single time somebody goes against you.
Mm-hmm.
You can just look at them and go, "Dumbass,"
Dumbass.
and go about your fucking day. I understand standing your ground if you're being threatened.
Yeah, it's a difference.
I'm not saying, somebody walk up to you, push you, and then you just walk away and sue them later for assault. Somebody comes up and pushes you and keeps confronting you, punch them in the fucking face, show them what for. But if there's a Karen all up in your shit, either ignore them. If they're destroying your shit, sue them. If they're stealing your shit, sue them.
Yeah.
Make money out of it
Yeah,
instead
if you've
of...
got like physical video evidence of them destroying your stuff, like that's on them. Like, I don't think these people realize, like I've seen Karens sit out there and destroy stuff. I'm like, you realize you can go to jail for that, right? Like, I'm sitting here like, people are idiots.
Because I can tell you right now, if somebody started destroying my shit, I could get them for 2 different things. Destruction of private property and emotional distress. I'm a really good actor.
And trespassing.
And trespassing. So I can get you for 3 different things right there. And I promise you, I'll win.
At least one.
I'll get something out of this.
Oh, the world that is as it is.
It's not going... I'm not trying to go against the people who think, oh, I need to stand up for myself. Oh, I need to do this. You can stand up for yourself without wasting your breath. Because...
Oh, no, I'm just at that point where, like, I was bullied half my life between my brothers, because they're all older than me, to people in high school, to people at the playground in the neighborhood. I'm at that point in my life where I'm in the best shape I've been in 10, 11 years. And, like, and yes, like I've said multiple times throughout this podcast, mentally just don't give a fuck anymore. I don't feel anything but my own depression and pain. But, like, I'm not going to take anyone's shit anymore. If I get my ass kicked, that's on me. I'll learn. Then I maybe not go about it that way anymore. But the 2 situations I've been in the past 2 weeks, I was calm and collective until certain occasions went out. Like, I was calm and collective until my friend got called a faggot. I was calm and collective until he snapped on one of the minors. You had me until you want to, like, pull different cards and be disrespectful in ways you shouldn't.
Mm.
That's what it's one thing to stand your ground in physical defense. But you don't need to stand your ground in every form of defense.
Mm.
There are times when, in fact, the pen is mightier than the sword.
Yeah, in the eye.
I mean, yeah, even in sword situations, if somebody punches you in the face, you can stab them in the eye with a pen, and same result. It's a heavier charge, but same result.
First-degree murder.
Assault with a deadly weapon, potential manslaughter, possible first-degree murder, depending on your state.
The usual.
Assault and battery with a deadly weapon. When COVID hit, I was bored, and I started looking into law.
Yeah, you're watching Legal Eagle.
Yeah, Legal Eagle. He's a godsend.
He's hilarious. I love watching his stuff.
He is, but I learned a lot of shit. I'm not saying I could go be a lawyer right now because fuck that test.
Mm-hmm.
But I know enough that if I'm in an altercation, I know my chances of winning the court case.
Mm-hmm.
Assuming
So
I have
good to know. I call you when I feel like I'm fucked. Hey,
No,
so this is what
no.
happened. What's my odds? You're fucked, mate.
Yeah, you called me like, bro, got into a fight, and I think I killed him. You think or you know? I think. Did you throw the first punch? No. Okay.
Here's the option.
At worst, you go ahead and get charged with involuntary manslaughter.
There's a movie you still need to watch
What?
that is amazing. It's got Kevin Bacon in it
Oh god.
and Christian Slater.
Oh god.
And another really good actor.
Morgan Freeman?
No. I'm trying to think of where else. He
Bob
was in
Saget?
Shawshank Redemption. He was the
Morgan
warden.
Freeman.
Shut
Morgan Freeman.
Sean Connery.
Zip it.
You said Shawshank Redemption, so I'm going through the
I'm
motions.
trying to tell you. He
Okay.
was the warden.
I don't know who the warden was. I've never seen the Shawshank Redemption. I haven't.
I wanted to fucking divorce. How have you not seen Shawshank
It
Redemption?
looked boring to me whenever it was on TV, so I never had
I've
an
never
interest in
seen
it. Alpha's never seen
that
it
I can
either.
recall.
You're both dead.
That I
to
can
me.
recall.
You need to watch that movie.
The only thing I know is it's
You still
got
coming out next Saturday, Fang?
No.
All I know is that it's got Sean Connery in it, and then doesn't it have Morgan Freeman in it?
No, Sean Connery is not in Shawshank Redemption.
I thought he was in the Shawshank Redemption.
No, that's Tim Robbins. Morgan Freeman.
Then what prison movie is Sean Connery in?
You're probably thinking of The Rock or something like that. Yeah, The Rock, I think. Either The Rock or Escape or something. But no. Murder in the First Degree, like I said, it's got Kevin Bacon in it. Kevin Bacon in it. It's got the warden from Shawshank Redemption. And it's this guy that's being charged for murder in the first
Bob
degree.
Gooten?
Yeah. Being
Gutton?
charged for murder in the first degree. And it's a law movie. It is really freaking good. Like, you need to sit down and watch it. Like, you would thoroughly enjoy it.
Another movie I need to sit down and
Enjoy
watch
it.
is
Enjoy it. Shut up,
just because I think it'd be a funny law
you
movie.
bitch.
A funny law movie to watch is I need to watch My Cousin Vinny.
It's funny.
Who's the actor who plays it in that?
That's Joe Pesci.
Yeah, Joe Pesci.
Played Marv in
Yeah, Home Alone.
Home Alone. Sticky Bandit.
But I need to watch My Cousin Vinny. What's funny about law movies and law TV? Do you ever watch Matlock?
No.
You never watched
It
Matlock?
looked fucking boring, so I didn't want to watch
What
it.
about Murder, She Wrote?
I watched some
You're
Murder,
dead to me.
yes.
I want a fucking divorce. How's it feel, man?
I liked Murder, She Wrote. I like Angela Lansbury.
She's
Miss Potts for the
amazing.
win.
Did you ever watch That Darn Cat?
No, I actually never seen that.
It's
Speaking of
a movie.
you calling her a bitch, when you said that last week and her family was on, I just was like, oh god.
No, fuck it.
Oh,
No,
God.
I get my sense of humor from my mom and my dad.
Yeah,
both.
they
So,
know.
no, my mom's got a really funny sense of humor. Like,
I was waiting for her to either A, crack an awkward joke just to like break this like awkwardness, or like her be like, first off, don't call her a bitch.
No, because
was like,
they
oh, this
probably
podcast
knew I
sucks.
was talking about it in a joking manner. I
Right.
wasn't legitimately.
and plus,
calling
if you
her
would
a
have
bitch.
listened when I said, "Well, I guess you have a deuce and a half too, honey," and you hear my mom in the background just cackling.
'Cause I was a
So-
fucking,
So you got a dump trunk of an ass.
yeah. I didn't used to. We used to be all skin and bone, and then I got married.
Yeah, and then you got fed.
I ate more than 2 Hot Pockets a day.
I have a question before we run out of time.
What's
Just
that?
because there's a female in the group,
I'm listening.
and for the female listeners, why give your number out if you're not gonna take it serious?
Because sometimes if we're drunk, we forget.
They
Also,
weren't drunk.
it is a good way of diffusing the situation.
Yeah.
If they feel uncomfortable, they may or may not. I know I'm not a female, and you asked this for the female members, but it may be a way of just getting you off their back because they can ignore you easier if you're not in their face.
Mm-hmm.
Well, like I
Basically,
was
it's
trying to
being
say
too
earlier,
nice.
it's like part of like also what put me lower in depression. But like when I found that spark of happiness, I was talking about crushing on this girl that had been coming through for like months, and well, then everybody at work started seeing it. I'll just do it. Ask her for a number. Ask her for a number. I finally got her number. We talked for like 2 or 3 days. And then like there was one day where she didn't see me and she sent me a picture and she was like, got my hash brown, da 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 da, you know, missed you, like, and then like now she like would text me like once every 3 days. So I kind of just like was like, you know what, fuck this, I can't do it.
Well, it's like I don't know if you
Well,
remember.
she also might be busy, honey, because you know, some people don't
Yeah.
have the same schedule as you, or they have other things going on.
Females always have their phone.
Not just because you have your phone doesn't mean you can always reply, or
Right,
you
like, I
always want
like
to reply.
I always have my phone on me, but if you text me and you haven't gotten a reply in an hour or two, it's probably because I looked at it, forgot you texted me, and put it down and walked away. And then 2 hours later, oh shit, I forgot to. Like I've done that multiple times.
I've done that multiple times.
Yeah, like
I've also
when I
done
sent,
the I'll reply, but I won't hit send.
Yeah, I've done that.
I
too.
hit send.
I hate when I do that.
it's like when I sent that intro idea to you, I checked like 30 minutes later and you had read it and I was like, fucking bitch!
But it's like, so I don't know if you remember back when I worked with you, it would have probably been my second or third year working with you. No, we were on nights, so it had to have been first or second year. I don't know if you remember this really cute blonde girl that walked in with her friends. And I think we like rock, paper, scissors over who was going to ask her for a number or something stupid like that. But I
remember what you're talking about, but I'm trying to think of who it was.
don't remember her name. She was just a customer.
Because
But
I think she had a thing for me.
I don't remember. But I went out and I asked for a number, and we talked for one day after that. We texted for one day. And then I stopped replying to her because at the time I was taking care of Ryan, who would have only been a year old, 2 years old. So I responded to her, hey, sorry, I had to take care of my son for a minute. And she's like, oh, you have a kid? And I was like, yes. Because it wasn't something I was like actively trying to hide. I thought it would have been fairly obvious. But the next two messages I got were, sorry, I don't deal with baby mama drama. Bye. And I went, okay, there isn't any baby mama drama, but whatever.
Yep, this is definitely the girl I'm thinking of.
Yeah, and I was like, yeah, whatever. And
There's
then
nothing but drama.
Of course, paying forward to, about what, a year or so ago in our relationship where you were having issues, and you're like, now I understand what she meant by baby mama drama. I'm like, oh, there you go.
oh yeah, because I told you that story.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and it's funny. There are some women out there that just will not deal with other men's children, and that's one thing I've hated about that. It's like, if you love somebody, you don't love them but exclude their children. Like, if you love somebody, you love somebody for them and their children. Like, I told my husband straight to his face, like I fell in love with your son before I did you. Like, I fell in love with our son the minute I met him. He was so adorable. He had the cutest laugh. Like, he was just like my
You
heart.
met him when he was, what, 3 or 4?
Well, 2 or 3.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
It would have been 3 or 4 because he was walking. Like the picture of me and him in our first apartment together.
Uh-huh.
He's about up to he's a tall kid anyway.
Yeah.
But his head's up to my hip and he's leaning on the wall with me.
All right, maybe
He
3 or
would have
4.
been about 3 or 4 years old.
No,
But you
because I
knew
knew you
her
before. Yeah, I
before.
knew you before that.
Yeah, because we hung out when you lived here. Well,
Okay, so yeah,
We've been together for like what,
first
5
time,
years?
yeah, the first time you met him.
It's probably 2, because he was still in
Yeah,
diapers.
he was probably 2 or 3.
Yeah, he was still. I vividly remember changing his diaper.
Yeah. You also
but I'm
remember
also
that?
thinking to
Of course, that
to
tooth has
kind of
seen a
like
lot of stuff, though.
wrap up my part of that question would be like I also think that maybe like I'm just saying the wrong things because like yeah, that girl still messages me from time to time, but I like I don't care to respond because like I don't feel like it's going anywhere. But then
Well,
like there's this other girl that came through who I thought was very attractive, and then like I'm a fucking pansy. I won't ask for a number. It took a lot to ask for the other girl's number. Well, she gave her number to a coworker to give to me, so I thought it was a sign from God. I was like, oh sweet. We talked for a day. She was hit or miss. We set up a date. I was supposed to go on a date yesterday with her, and she canceled on me and said, I just don't think we're gonna work out. How the fuck do you not know we're gonna work out? You don't even fucking text me. Like,
It's just
I don't know.
well, some girls like it when guys take the initiative. Yes. Um,
you got to learn how to play the game.
and for me personally, getting a guy's phone number from where he works is kind of like, I don't know. To me, it's kind of cringy. Like, I understand, and if it works, it works. It's great. But I always saw it as some guy try to give a coworker their phone number. I'm like, oh, you're a creep. Like,
No, it wasn't a coworker. It was a customer who gave my coworker the number to give to
well,
me.
no, I mean, it goes for like both ways. Like when I have a guy, like a customer tries to give somebody their phone number, I'm just kind of like, ugh, cringe. But
Like,
sometimes it
where the
does
fuck am I
work.
supposed to meet people at? Because like at work, there's attractive women that come through all the time. Well, if
VR chat.
women
VR chat.
don't like that, then there's the bar. Okay, well, they're not gonna fucking most of the girls that give their numbers out don't fucking remember giving their number out, so then that's fucking weird. And then if I'm shopping at fucking my local Walmart and I'm like, oh, that girl's cute, I'm gonna go talk to her. Hey, can I get your number? I'm just trying to shop.
Well,
Like,
yeah,
where
you
the
could.
fuck am I supposed to
Hey,
meet women at?
VR chat.
Oh, you're really attractive. I don't know what you look like, but you sound attractive. Can I get your
That's
number? I live
actually
in
almost.
Alaska.
That's almost the more
Funny
pure.
story.
It's almost kind of like a pure form of it. Since you don't know what they look like, you're not going based off of looks. You're going off of personality.
Hmm.
There are several people in the fur group that I drink with on Fridays and Saturdays that are in relationships, sometimes even poly relationships, and they'll visit each other in real life. They'll go to another state if it's close enough or if they have the money. Or some people have even moved to their significant other's place.
I actually had a friend of mine. Speaking of the Alaska thing, which is funny. So I'm still big into World of Warcraft. I haven't played it in forever. She actually met her husband in World of Warcraft, and he lived in Canada. And he came down to Indiana, hung out with her, met her, and they got married.
You could also use your grandma in that example.
How so?
Oh no, she moved here to America.
Yeah, but he went out to England, so yeah.
Yeah.
It's just it's a hit or miss. Like, I'm not saying, cringy, it's to me sometimes if the guy is just kind of like, so if the guy's kind of like just that, hey, how you doing, girl? Hey, can I get your number? That's cringy. Like, that's kind of like if he's being over the top. But if you're like genuinely trying, like you are, Alpha, like, I don't see that as cringe. Sometimes it's right time, right place. Sometimes it's wrong time, wrong place.
Another thing is
Like the first girl, I literally walked out there and said, hey, sorry for how they were acting in there, but I've been wanting to tell you for a while that I think you're very beautiful. Is there any way I can get your number? And she's like, had the biggest smile on her face. She's like, yes. Gave me her number.
So
and we girls also like communication. Like, that whole wait 3 days to text him is bullshit. Like, I hate that shit. Like,
oh no, I texted.
now, so here's another thing you might look at. And I don't want to keep referring to it as a game, but in
It's a game.
some instances, it kind of is. You have to play your cards carefully. You have to move your chess pieces carefully. Don't look at me when I say chess pieces, just
Like-
because I smoothed your ass over with a queen comment.
And
But,
the queen, that's besides
so-
the point.
Just because you think somebody is attractive doesn't mean you need to immediately ask for their number on the first conversation. Not
Yeah.
saying you do that, but just in general for people listening.
Because beauty only gets you so far.
If you find somebody attractive, talk. Physically talk to them about anything. Don't even mention that you're attracted to them. Just find a common interest. Talk to them over the course of days, maybe even weeks, of just seeing if they're a regular at your store or your restaurant or their
That's how that
coworker.
first one was. Actually, all three of them are regulars, but that first one, like I said, I've been bullshitting with her for like months.
Yeah.
Or
So
if you end up going
that's a
on a
way
date.
of doing it. And then as you get friendlier, ask for their number. And then even after you have their number, don't necessarily go, "Hey, I think you're pretty." Just kind of stay talking to them. Sometimes women are just looking for a friend.
Yeah, or I had and here's something that's gonna shake all my guy listeners out there. If you see a girl that is the most beautifulest woman in the bar, and you think that you are not on her level to approach her, 9 times out of 10, you are gonna get her phone number because yes, she may be the prettiest one in the bar, but I guarantee goddamn to you that she has got the lowest self-esteem in that bar. Because yes, she's pretty.
She looks that way for a reason.
She looks that way for a reason. She could have a lot more deep-seated issues, and like most women anyway, we are severely self-conscious and severely self-deprecating. And I know it took years between the people that I dated. Some helped me out of it, some pushed me further into my own, self-hatred. Fang is the one that truly pulled me completely out of that self-hating, and I haven't felt more beautiful since being with Fang. Like, I'll look in the mirror and be like, damn, I am sexy. Or it's like, I'm like, damn, you got a sexy ass wife, don't you? He's like, I keep telling you.
Like I told you so.
So it's
He's
just,
got a big dick, isn't it?
it's a bonus.
But
A bonus.
just-
Shut the
in
fuck
your-
up, Alpha.
Oh.
Fucking hate you.
But we are officially running up on the hour mark.
Yeah, Fang and I've got a skedaddle. We've got practice tonight. But back on further stuff. It's like, approach that girl, approach that guy, talk to him.
Don't be a pussy, bro.
Don't. Yes, don't be a pussy, but also don't be creepy. As for depression and things like that, yes, we all have depression, and people see it as, oh, you're just being overdramatic or this. Depression affects different people just like stress does. Depression can kill you just like stress can. Go, and people might not like what I'm going to say, going to a therapist can help you. Like, I know most people see shrinks as, oh, they're going to make me think I'm crazy. No, you have medical family practitioners out there that, deal with depression, deal with suicidal thoughts, deal with, relationship issues. If you feel like you are in such a state that you are so low that you feel like it's time to go, seek a therapist. They are there to help you. Don't be afraid to, have yourself spiral further down because you're afraid to open up to somebody. So that's my 2 cents. But make sure to follow us on all of our social medias. You've got Tru Alpha, Fang, and myself. We do have a Patreon, Wolfcast Podcast. We are on Facebook again, Wolfcast Podcast. If you'd like to try and purchase merch, we can have shirts, cups, mugs, pen pads, stuff like that, made up and get you priced. Just email us at wolfcastpodcast2021@yahoo.com. So, we appreciate you guys. Make sure you subscribe, comment, like for us, hit that notification bell. We appreciate everything that you guys do for us, and we appreciate you sticking here with our journey. So,
Dealing with our bullshit.
So I guess until next time, we'll see you in the next video. Bye!
Bye.